Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Joe Kort, and I'm the guy who coined the term side. A side is a gay guy who doesn't top, he doesn't bottom, he's not verse, he's a side. And so I'm going to get into it in this video so that you can understand where the term came from, why I created it, what does it mean, how did it get into the gay community, the term, and how do you work with it? You know, what is it? The thing is, I have never topped and I've never bottomed. I have another video that went viral that I said I never put my carrot in a donut and I never had anybody's carrot in my donut. It just has never been erotic for me. It's never been of any interest to me. It's not because anything ever happened to me, although some people can be sides because something has happened to them. For me, it just wasn't naturally and organically something that was sexy for me. I love all other kinds of things because people will say, well, what does that mean? What do you do? Like, if you don't top and you don't bottom, then what happens? As if there is no other way to find pleasure in the bedroom with another person. I have talked a lot with my friends over the years that I never topped or bottomed, and they would call me a virgin. They would say, you just haven't met the right guy. You haven't had it done right, whatever they would say to me. And I would say, none of that resonates for me. I'm just not into it. And so then one day I was sitting around with some friends and we were talking and I said, well, if I'm not a top or a bottom, maybe I'm just a side. I made it up. I was thinking of a box. And they laughed and I laughed. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. Why is that funny? Why can't that be the term? And so I wrote about it in 2013 in Huffington Post, and that article went viral and hit a nerve. And I got a lot of emails from gay guys saying, hey, thank you so much. I have felt like some people said I didn't even feel like I was gay because if I don't want to top and I don't want to bottom, then doesn't that make you gay? No, of course it doesn't make you gay. Then the term sat there for a while. I didn't really know what else to do with it. I wrote about it here and there, and I was going to write a book about it, but I didn't at the time. And then I got TikTok. I started doing TikToks. And in that, I started talking about sides and it started gaining momentum. Gay men were starting to really resonate. And then I received some men that said, we really wish you would have a Facebook group. We would join. So I started a Facebook group called Side Guys on Facebook for gay and bi men and really any man who doesn't enjoy topping or bottoming. They want to do everything else. We have almost 9,000 men in that group, and it's been going on since 2022-ish, somewhere around there. I have 2 administrators that help me run it. It's very helpful for men. It's very healing for men because it's giving them a sense of belonging, because there is so much shaming and so much negativity from other gay men toward sides. They'll say things like, we're boring, and we might be boring to you, but we're not boring to each other. So what's the point of saying we're boring? I hate having you filling up my grinder, my scruff, because I'm looking for a top or a bottom. Just scroll past. It's not that hard to scroll past a profile. I can't tell you how much it warms my heart that I created a term that exists not only in the gay male community, but on these platforms, Grindr, Scruff, Adam for Adam, Sniffies, it's everywhere. And when I travel around the country, I see it. I get on Grindr, I get on Scruff, and I see all these different sides. And I know that I was responsible for that. Now, let's talk about what this is. The clinical term, the sexological term, is called Outercourse, not Intercourse. The reason I created this term too is I have a pet peeve that I'll ask my clients, are you being sexual? Are you having sex with your partner? They'll say, no, we do everything else, but we're waiting for intercourse when we get married. Well, what is everything else? Well, we're doing oral, we're doing masturbation. That's still sex. You're having sex with that person. Sex somehow has gotten reduced to intercourse, and I blame religion. I think religion telling people don't have sex, it'll make babies, so they're focused on intercourse. I blame the patriarchy, because patriarchy is all about male pleasure and penile pleasure during intercourse, because we know that women don't often feel pleasure, nor do they get stimulated during intercourse. They need other types of play. And I blame Bill Clinton. I love Bill Clinton as our former president, but I blame him because he kept saying when he was caught in his infidelity, I did not have sex with that woman. What he meant was, I didn't have intercourse with that woman. And this all reinforced in our culture that sex is only intercourse. And here's the deal. A lot of men and women, as you age, your body doesn't work the same. And so you can't depend on your erections. You can't depend on your performance. You can't depend on you becoming aroused to the point where you're having the ability to have intercourse. So you then have to learn that outer course might be the way to go. And sometimes it's the better way to go. So the reason I made the term for gay men and bi men is because I was told early on, because of social politics and political justice, social justice, I should say, is only stay in your lane. Don't talk about anybody else. Well, I'm starting to talk about everybody else. Lesbians can be sides. Trans people can be sides. Heterosexual men and women can be sides. All it means is you're not aroused by intercourse. You prefer outer course. And outer course are all the things. I mean, think of everything that you do in bed that's foreplay. Foreplay for sides is the main play. Foreplay is the main play. Digital stimulation, oral stimulation, manual stimulation, frauding, touching, sexy talk, sexting. I mean, I could go on and on. I don't know how much YouTube allows that, but I'm able to do that when I do my presentations. And then I did finally write a book called Side Guys. And this book includes stories. I think I put 3 chapters in there about being a side and all the different ways of being a side, which I'm going to also talk about here. But then I put everybody's stories. Some people are sides because of trauma. They had sexual trauma. They had bodily trauma growing up. Some are sides because they have pain anally, and so they're not able to have intercourse. Some people are sides because of religious reasons, cleanliness reasons. And then there are other sides like me. I refer to myself as an orthodox side. In other words, I've never tried it. I've never wanted to try it. I've been pressured to try it, but I never wanted to. So that would end the relationship with this guy until I met my husband 33 years ago, who said, it's okay. We didn't know the term, but we both knew that we were both open to intercourse and we could live a good life without topping and bottoming each other. Now, there are guys that are side verse. And by the way, I did not come up with these terms right away. I only thought of a side as an orthodox like me. I don't do intercourse, period. I don't do anything with anal. Period. But then in my Facebook group, guys were like, wait a minute, now why can't I be side verse? Why can't I be mostly a side, but bottom every once in a while? You can. I get that. That makes sense. Why can't I be mostly a side and top every once in a while? That makes sense. Why does it make sense? Because there's top verse where they top mostly, but they bottom every once in a while. There's bottom verse where they bottom all the time and they top every once in a while. So it's just an important thing to remember that it doesn't have to be all one thing. By the way, these terms, I know they antagonize so many people. Why do we need labels? Everyone's bringing up a new word. This is pop culture, pop science. Okay, so if you don't like labels, don't use them. They antagonize you. I see the antagonism in the comments. Don't use labels. But many people like a label because it explains for themselves. They get a sense of belonging, explains what's going on for them, and gives a way of communicating to another person, hey, this is what you're getting if we get involved with one another. Now, you can also be a dominant side, where you're more of a dominant personality in the bedroom. You can be a submissive side. You could be a kinky side. By the way, people in the kink community understand sides because not all people in the kink community, predominantly, they might not have intercourse. They might not involve genitals. They might not have orgasms, and it's still sex. They're still having sex with one another because it's the power exchange. It's the stuff going on in each other's brains. Many lesbians will report just taking a nice, warm, passionate bath together, hugging, kissing. That is a night of sex for them. And it's an important thing to really think about because, again, our bodies change. We can't count on. I've had clients call their erections drive-bys as they get older. Honey, get in the room because it's only here for a minute. It's a short window, right? And then a lot of people feel so much shame that they stop having sex because they think to themselves, if I can't have intercourse, then I'm not a real man. If I can't have intercourse, I'm not a real woman. I want to get away from all that way of thinking. Sex is whatever you want it to be, need it to be, find pleasure for it to be. So side pride, everybody, side pride. I have t-shirts. You'll see me at gay pride events with the books and the t-shirts. And I'm very, very proud to have made this term, to have given a community a name, a voice, myself a name and a voice. By the way, I don't make any money on this. Everyone always asks, you can't coin a word. And whatever happens anyways is somebody learns the word and they're like, oh, thank God. And they don't need therapy anymore. They're coming to therapy to find out what's wrong with them. When they come to me, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. They're done. As long as they know that being a side is just as valid as being a top or a bottom of any gender, any orientation. Okay, now you know.